I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna enjoy my family. But if the money is right, I made that call. If the money is right, I can fight right now.
Following his triumph over Haim MJA, Canelo Alvarez addressed the crucial query regarding his matchup with David Benavidez. Immediately following the victory, the two fighters engaged in a conversation. YouTuber Showbiz offered some guidance to Benavidez, advising him to give up on fighting Canelo.
Hopefully bless you with a fight. By that time, you won't even be the best you. I think Benavidez should make his own lane, be his own man, make his own name, so he could be the guy who can do whatever he wants.
During the post-fight news conference, Canelo did not provide supporters with a definitive answer about his upcoming fight against Benavidez. However, he did address a significant question on everyone's mind.
With everybody, you asking, but right now I'm in the position I can ask him to. So I'm in the position I can ask him to, and I can do whatever I want, and we'll see what happens.
So, when Canelo takes on Benavidez in September, what can the pros and experts say? Stay tuned and watch this video to learn more. Canelo Alvarez celebrated yet another victory after beating fellow Mexican boxer Jaime Munguia in Las Vegas last night. However, the boxing community was never in favor of Canelo fighting MJA, as they all wanted to see the undisputed super middleweight champion fight. Everyone cheered for the victory and was excited to know who the undefeated David Benavidez, who has been criticizing Canelo for more than a year, would face next. David Benavidez was also at ringside for the bout, and right after it ended, the two fighters got into a furious nonverbal dispute. Canelo glanced at Benavidez and gestured toward the boxing ring as if to say, "You're next." This is exciting news for the fans because the fight is highly anticipated, with millions of fans hoping for this matchup. However, when asked about the possibility of the fight happening next, Canelo put forth an outrageous condition. When asked if he would fight Benavidez next, Canelo seemed hesitant, saying, "I don't know right now," but within seconds he explained how the prospects for the match could change at any time, saying, "If the money is right, I'll make that call." Alvarez told Gray, "If the money is right, I can fight right now. I don't care." Canelo also used his post-fight interview to remind Benavidez and the boxing community that he makes the decisions and has earned the right to do so right now. "I can ask for whatever I want," he added, "a good measure, and I can do anything I want." It appears that Canelo will keep his fans guessing until he makes his next opponent's announcement. Given his post-fight exchange with the Mexican monster, he might be open to taking on Benavidez, but it's important to note that he might still be unsure about this fight, so should Benavidez continue to pursue it? When discussing the current circumstances of the interim champion, YouTuber Showbiz, the adult offered some advice to Benavidez. He pointed out that Canelo had set a high price of $200 million for the fight, which implies that Canelo may be setting terms that are not only high, but possibly strategically out of reach, indicating he doesn't see the fight happening anytime soon. Showbiz notes that at this pricing point, the fight is almost out of the question.
It's ridiculous. I mean, he's definitely, it's like, in order for me to take the risk to fight David Benavidez, you got to pay me 5 times more than I've ever been paid. So
he suggests that Benavidez concentrate on his own professional route rather than waiting for a match with Canelo, saying that Benavidez should try to become undisputed at light heavyweight or even think about going up to cruiserweight. According to Showbiz, Ben Affleck is wiser to plan his career without relying on a Canelo fight, because that way he can advance in his prime without being held back by the uncertainty of a high-profile fight that might not happen. Additionally, Showbiz the adult considers the wider implications of boxers waiting for big fights like these, pointing out that boxers risk losing their prime years by waiting for opportunities that might never materialize. He emphasizes the importance of fighters carving out their own identities and leaving their legacies alone. This discussion encapsulates the complex and difficult decisions boxers must make when navigating their careers, particularly when possible MEAP fights are taken into account alongside personal development and long-term career planning in the sport. Following the fight, David Benavidez also spoke with Fight Hub TV, where he discussed whether he intends to challenge Canelo, the Mexican monster, who is scheduled to fight Alexander Guic at light heavyweight on June 15. He also stressed that he is prepared to move forward regardless of whether he fights Canelo. Benavidez expressed frustration about the difficult negotiations surrounding a fight with Canelo, highlighting the high financial demands that have been made. He questioned Canelo's reasoning for demanding such a large sum of money if he didn't view Benavidez as a significant challenge, implying that such demands could be a sign that Canelo views Benavidez as a formidable opponent.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the only way I'll stick to 168 if Canelo gives me the fight. But like I said, I've kind of outgrown the weight class, you know what I mean? I've been there for a long time. I was already at the doorsteps of what...
Benavidez said that rather than erecting financial obstacles that make the fight more difficult to happen, Canelo should be prepared to establish his superiority in the ring for a fair pursuit. He expressed his willingness to fight as well as his discontent with the continuing story that mostly connects him to Canelo, stating that he wanted to concentrate on his professional path. Aside from saying that he is open to going back to 168 pounds for a super fight with Canelo, he also mentioned his recent move to the light heavyweight class, indicating that he feels stronger and more suited to this class after outgrowing the super middleweight division, where he had competed for many years. He also emphasized his focus on pursuing championships at 175 pounds and potentially moving up further. In the end, Benavidez expressed a desire to carve out his own path by winning more titles and possibly going for undisputed status at light heavyweight. He wants to leave a legacy defined by his accomplishments rather than his possible opponents, indicating a forward-thinking attitude that puts his development as a person and a professional ahead of any one fight, even one as well known as a matchup with Canelo Alvarez. Although David Benavidez has moved on and is expected to win his first light heavyweight championship in June, he too responded to Canelo's request for $200 million.
I mean, you think he's gonna fight two people on the same night? Really?
No,
really?
he's saying if the money.
But I mean, if the money for him that's right is $200 million, well, nobody's gonna get $200 million.
We're not sure when the Canelo versus Benavidez fight will take place, but the boxing community is still celebrating Canelo's victory, and experts are still analyzing it. Nanato Donaire recently shared his thoughts on Canelo's performance against Munguia, highlighting the power and improvement that he displayed in the fight. He noted that although it wasn't Canelo's most dominant performance, it was one of his most entertaining ones, primarily because Munguia was willing to engage, pushing the fight and showing his Mexican heart. Donaire praised Munguia for actively competing rather than just trying to survive, which added to the match's excitement. He also expressed admiration for Munguia's resiliency, particularly after taking hard blows. On the topic of Canelo versus David Benavidez, Donaire expressed a personal desire as a fan to see that fight happen, recognizing the appeal it holds for the audience, but he acknowledged Canelo's autonomy in choosing his fights. However, he continued to push forward, embodying the spirit of a Mexican warrior, and this fight revealed Munguia's capacity to bounce back, showing he still has a lot to offer in boxing despite the loss, highlighting the fact that Canelo has the right to select his opponents and the terms of his bout, including the financial ones. Donaire alluded to the boxing community's excitement over the match, but he emphasized that Canelo makes most of his decisions based on his career plan and business factors. This suggests that even though there is a lot of demand for a fight between Canelo and Benavidez, Canelo has the final say in the matter.
The fan out there, I want that fight too, but Canelo has made himself. Canelo has done what Canelo did, and so therefore, he has the right to call whatever he needs.
Claressa Shields, the female boxing champion, also offered her opinions about Canelo's performance and the possibility of a fight between Canelo and Benavidez. Although some experts thought Canelo appeared slow, Shields applauded his steady technique and tactical approach, highlighting that she perceived him as dominant, especially in his clever body shots that rendered Munguia less effective in the ring. Shields emphasized that Canelo was able to exhaust Munguia, pointing out in particular how Munguia found it difficult to launch punches after taking a powerful blow to the arm. Shields was impressed by Munguia's tenacity because he won all 12 rounds and put up a stronger fight than many of Canelo's recent opponents, including well-known fighters like Charlo and Saunders. She also noted that Munguia's style of fighting was audacious because he took and gave shots, and even managed to briefly rattle Canelo during the bout. Regarding the possible fight between Canelo and David Benavidez, Shields expressed her excitement for the matchup, stating that Benavidez offers a different kind of challenge for Canelo while acknowledging Ben's unique style and capabilities. She nevertheless maintained that Terence Crawford is the only boxer she believes can truly defeat Canelo, highlighting Crawford's skill set as uniquely suited to challenge Canelo's dominance in the ring. Shields' commentary reflects her deep respect for Canelo's abilities while also acknowledging the competitive spirit and toughness brought by Mangia. The boxing world is eager to see Canelo fight David Benavidez next, but what do you think is going to happen? Let us know in the comments. That's it for today. Don't forget to like. Her perspective as a professional boxer adds a layer of understanding to the nuances of the fight that might not be apparent to the average viewer, illustrating the strategic depth and physical demands of high-level boxing. She balances her analysis with anticipation for future bouts that might redefine or reinforce Canelo's standing in the boxing world, as well as joining the channel. We appreciate your attention and hope to see you in future videos. Turn on the bell to receive the most recent notifications so you never miss out on videos like this one.